Thank you for joining me today in my session, ADHD, dealing with a brain, my brain, that needs stimulation. I've heard there are quite some people watching remotely, so also welcome to you. Thank you that you made it to the session that early in the morning. I know there was a party last night. I wasn't there, but I saw the pictures and it looked awesome. And also sorry if you felt uncomfortable when you were walking in, because it was really silent here. But I actually asked them, and thank you for that, to not turn on the music, because I get overstimulated like really quickly. And when I was here half an hour early, and when I listened to music like half an hour early that I can't pick myself, my brain goes crazy. So I hope you're feeling okay. I'm feeling okay too, so I think that will be an awesome session. This is kind of a different session than what I'm normally doing, because normally I talk about Power BI, dashboard design. I do a lot of knowledge sessions at the company I'm working for, and that's okay. It's a tool I'm working for. It's design I'm doing, and this is a personal session, and it feels different. But I saw like a post on LinkedIn from Secret Bits, and they were saying we promote personal sessions, mental health sessions, personal growth sessions, because it's important to share. And I'm a little bit impulsive, and I was like, yes, that's important, I will sign up. And then my session was picked, and I thought, okay, now I have to do it. But I really want to do it because I think it's important to share. And one of the reasons I also think it's important is they were like, oh, awesome, they picked you for the dashboard design session. I was like, no, didn't pick that session. It's about my ADHD, and they went really quiet. And it was kind of end of discussion. They just went away. I felt awful. And then one of my coworkers actually walked by my desk, and he was like, can we talk? And I was like, oh yes, of course we can talk. I really think you shouldn't do this session. This will end your career. Because if people know that you struggle, they will not want you to work for them. And I thought, that's nonsense. I don't believe that. I really don't believe that. And if there's really a company that doesn't want to hire me because I struggle at times, at many times, but I'm working on it, that's fine for me. But I think because there's still this common belief that it's bad when you struggle, I think that's important why we should share, because it's not. Everyone struggles at some point of time, and some of us were born with a brain that's just working differently. And I try to work around it, get some strategies, and use the positive stuff, because there are also some really positive things about it. And I try to work and cope with the negative stuff. And that's why I think it's so important to share. When I submitted the session, it actually also had the title, Failing at Normal. And the closer the session came, I thought about failing at normal. That sounds not okay, because I really don't think anyone is failing at normal. I don't think I'm failing at normal, but it was what people told me most part of my life, that I'm not normal, that I'm not okay, that I'm not doing enough. And if I just could be normal, that would be really nice for everyone else. Unfortunately, there's no checkbox that you can check, like, I just want to be normal. So I really don't think you're failing. No one's failing, because we're all trying our best to have a good life, I think. So a little bit about myself. My name's Valerie. I work as lead Microsoft at Vision BI in the Netherlands. I'm originally from Germany, moved to the Netherlands 13 years ago. Lead Microsoft actually is a really fancy title for describing I'm doing almost everything at the company, because I'm really like doing that. I don't like repetitive work. I like to be creative. So next to managing our partnership with Microsoft, I do a lot of data visualization, process improvement. There's a lot of innovation. When you work with Microsoft products, lots of innovation. So I can look at that. I do some marketing, I do some pre-sales, some sales, I do some coaching and some partner management. Sounds a lot. And I know that everyone that would do one of these roles 40 hours a week probably is better at it than I am. But I can't pick one of these. I love doing all of it at the same time. And I'm fortunate that I work at a company and they support me. They're completely okay with me doing what I want to do because we are having good results and it's working. And I'm really happy because I struggled a lot with finding a company that actually supports me being me and the needs I have. So today I really don't have like this goal of a session, this dashboard design sessions. The goal is I want you to be able to know 5 ways you can design your dashboard. Well, this is a personal topic. So my goal is I want to share some of my experience, some of the strategies I use to deal with the struggles, so I also will share the struggles, and some of the positive sides, because we often forget the positive. Me too, when I'm struggling and I'm having really bad days, I fail to see, or I don't see, the positive things. And I think, why is my brain not working? And I only see the bad. But there's a lot of good things, and I also want to share these. Because this is a 50-minute session, I will not share everything. I just picked a few things. So a little bit background before I go into the struggle is when I grew up, I was perceived as the gifted child. I was really quiet and shy, but I grew up in Germany, and back then, and I don't know if it's still that way, but back then, for a girl, it was really good to be quiet and shy. I was really good girl. My parents told me, you're doing exceptional because no one's hearing you. That's awesome. I was a lot on my own. I didn't have a lot of friends, and I was always carrying around some books and reading instead of having social interaction. And there was a lot of daydreaming. At least that's what other people saw. What really happened inside of me was I was a lot on my own and reading all these books because I couldn't keep up at school because I was distracted all the time. That's the daydreaming. So in all my spare time, I tried to keep up because my parents told me that I am the good child and I need to perform and I need to have these high grades. So I was struggling every day and keeping up with what everyone expected from me. And then there's also a really sad part, and that's I have a little brother. He's 2 years younger than me, and he's diagnosed with ADHD, and he showed all the symptoms. So like textbook ADHD, like the aggression, the hyperactivity, everything. He was diagnosed really easy, and my parents made sure, and they just didn't get the help they needed, that that's really bad, and that they don't know why they deserved a child like that. And they repeated that over and over again. So I learned from a really young age that it's not okay to struggle, and that it's okay to tell someone that you don't know why they are alive, basically. So I had a lot of fear, and I tried to keep up to what they projected on me, being gifted, being better than my brother. And I had an awful time growing up. I actually moved away from Germany one day after I graduated from school. I thought I will graduate from school and I will go away, live in a different country, and then I will fix myself. Because I wasn't diagnosed at that time, but I knew that something was going on. So what I did was I moved away, and things got worse. Because I started going to university, and university the course I picked, the study I picked, had really little structure. At school, I had at least the structure. You had to go there every day, and you had these courses you followed. At university, it was like 2 hours a week mandatory that I had to be there, and the rest was reading. And I couldn't get myself to do the reading. And the first year of university was also really prod. It was just like something about everything. Nothing that really interested me. I couldn't dive into the information and learn something more. So I actually did 3 years about my first year of university. And I think I only passed because I did all the exams 6 times. And the last time I actually knew what I had to fill in. All the questions they repeated during the years. So I finished my first year after 3 years, and then finally I could pick the courses I was interested in and I wanted to learn more about. And it was awesome because in the end I graduated cum laude just because I found something that really, really interested me and worked for me. So that was quite the happy moment because I thought now I may be fixed. I wasn't diagnosed at that point either. Still struggling a lot. Everything made no sense. And then I had to start looking for a job. And when I graduated, economy in the Netherlands wasn't that good. So my first 3 work experiences were internships, traineeships. And they were 2 times 3 months and 1 time 6 months. It appears that 6 months is the time my brain thinks things are interesting. So I had a really good time because you meet new people, you get a new job, you get new tasks, everything was new, a lot of stimulation, and it was awesome. And I thought, I'm fixed, you know, the cure was I just had to work. And now everything's perfect. And I felt really awesome. And then I got my first real job that I couldn't switch after 6 months. Well, I could, but didn't. And I worked there for 2.5 years. And in these 2.5 years, I actually had 5 different roles. They were really supportive. I had a manager. He never told me that he knew what was going on. He told me later after I was diagnosed, I called him and I was like, did you know what was going on? And he was like, yes. But he was really supportive. He was like, you want to try something new, a different role, slightly different? Let's do this. So I had quite a good time there, but after 2.5 years, I again thought, I need something new. I need to have new experiences. And then I switched jobs a lot because all the jobs I applied to after that were jobs that required me to work in a team where I'm just like a number doing repetitive work over and over again. And every time I had new ideas, and I'm quite creative, so I have a lot of ideas. They were like, it's not your job to have ideas. Tell the ideas to your manager, and your manager will have meetings with other managers, and then they will talk about the ideas. And if you stay in your job that you're having at the moment, and you just wait like 2 or 3 years, then you will be in the position sharing the ideas. Not working for me, left all these jobs. And then something really awful happened. It felt really awful. And that was also the best thing that happened to me. And that was that I actually lost my job due to not so good behavior. So I was really angry at the situation at work, and something I struggle with when I'm having a lot of emotions, and I can have massive emotions. Is also impulsivity. And I was at the situation at work where, looking back, what I should have done was talk to my manager, say, this is not a good situation, can we have a meeting about it in a quiet room? And that's that. What my brain made me partly do, I just realized what I was doing while I was doing it, was I thought the perfect moment to address this issue is in the middle of the office, telling the owner of the company that he's a horrible person, a liar, and really not good. Well, I lost my job right at that moment. I'm perfectly fine that I'm not working at that company anymore, but I should have done something else. And that was the moment I realized I need to get help. I need to talk to someone. This is not fixing itself. I know there's something going on. It's okay to ask for help, and I need that help because I was feeling like a failure at that moment. And I can promise you that that exit interview I had with that owner of the company, he made sure that I felt like the worst person ever. So I thought, I never want to do this again. I want to leave that company. Well, I had no choice, but eventually I would have left that company. But I wanted to leave it on my own terms. I want to have a choice. And due to not being able to know what's going on and control what was going on, I had no choice. And that felt awful. But the thing is, because that happened, things changed, because I finally got help. I went to my doctor and I told her, like, something's going on. I have no clue what, but I need help. I got, after some waiting time, in the Netherlands you have to wait some time until you get to talk to a psychologist. I actually got proper therapy. I got coaches. While I waited to get into therapy, my doctor actually checked in with me every week. She was really caring for what was going on. She was like, okay, we need to talk, we need to address this. She said, I think I know what's going on, but I can't diagnose this. You need to talk to a psychologist, but I can help you already coping with some of the things you're experiencing. So I've been in therapy for about 5 or 6 years now. I'm having coaches. People are really helping me. I learned a lot of strategies that actually help me preventing to do stuff that I would regret most of the time, because therapy didn't fix everything for me. I still have bad days. I still struggle. But now I at least realize a little bit more what's going on, and I'm feeling more in control. And it also helped me to find finally a job that's working for me. Because I thought I'm just not good at having a job. Like, at a given point of time, if you worked for a lot of companies and you always switch after a few months, I questioned myself. And we actually worked out something like, why are you switching jobs? What is it that's not working for you? Why does this make you feel all these emotions? Why do you act in a certain way? And it helped a lot. And I think that's also something why I think it's important to talk about it, because I grew up in that environment that was not supportive, and I didn't go to therapy, also because it was projected as something bad. And I think it's something awesome. At least for me, it worked so good. Most of the times. I need to say that because I still have bad days. One thing, and this is my main dragon that I struggled with my whole life, is impulsivity. And because it had such a big impact on me, this was also what I addressed first when I actually got into therapy and when I got into coaching, because I thought this is impacting me almost every day. I want to be a little bit in control, and the thing about impulsivity is you're not in control. That's why things happen. You just do it. And in combination with, I describe it as massive emotions that I can feel, it's just most of the time it's not so good. It's something negative, because what I'm doing is I'm acting without thinking. An example is blurting out comments during a meeting. Just not okay, also not for my coworkers. I just say what I'm thinking, and also some risk taking. And the thing is, impulsivity, everyone at a certain time experiences impulsivity. We all know we do stuff, or we agree on stuff, or we say yes to something and then we regret it. The issue is there if you do it constantly and it really is impacting you, and you don't really have a choice most of the time. That was my main issue. And it also had an impact on, for example, I had really big issues about spending money, because I thought, that's a nice thing, like online shopping, Instagram, you get all the adverts, and it's like, this is a nice planner, and it helps you to get your life in order. I thought, I need that. They have like this combi package, and I should buy 5 of them. And then I bought that. And then they had some other website they were promoting. They had other stuff that you could buy. I bought that. I didn't make enough money to buy all that stuff, and I didn't use all of that stuff. But somehow it felt for me like that's an awesome idea. And then it was delivered to me, and I was like, what do I do with 50 life planners? Like, it's not okay. I can open a store, a known store for life planners. I've ordered so many of these things. So impulsivity, next to making me lose my job, really had a negative impact on me. And I had to learn to cope with it. And with coping, I don't mean fixing it, because I know I can't fix it, but I can work somehow to make it less. Because I realized I want to have a choice. I don't want to get into situations I regret constantly. That's awful. And then in therapy, the therapist actually told me, but have you thought about just pausing and taking a step back and breathe? And I thought, if I would be able to just pause, I would do it. And I got really angry, almost the end of my therapy, because I got so angry. No impulsivity control there, but at least it was a safe space. And then it took me some weeks, it always takes me some time, to realize that she didn't meant to say, why do you just don't pause? She wanted to actually talk with me about these moments. Why do I don't pause? Why I'm not able in these moments to actually pause? And can I recognize situations that I'm impulsive in? Can I recognize how I'm feeling in these situations? And looking back, where there are signals that something would happen. And I actually worked with this smiley system, because it's really easy. And it's recognizing situations and signals from my body, both. And how it works is actually, I try to assess every day. When I wake up, I try to assess, how am I feeling today? Do I have a green smiley day? Green smiley days are awesome. I had enough sleep, I'm hydrated, I have eaten healthy, I've exercised, I feel good. I really looking forward to the day. I know there will be some nice things at work. I look forward to that. So I'm relaxed. Looking back, all the times I was impulsive that wasn't on these green smiley days. Because these days, if something happens, I'm relaxed, I'm enough in control to do stuff. And also, looking at situations, there are situations I never show impulsive behavior. Just never. Being with my favorite coworker, just doesn't happen because I feel really safe. Being with my husband, I just feel really safe. Nothing happens, I'm relaxed, everything's good. But that's nice to know, because I know there are some situations where I'm just really fine. And then there are the yellow days. Today is kind of a little bit a yellow day, because I was a little bit nervous, I didn't sleep so well, I am hydrated, took care of that. But I'm a little bit stressed, of course, because I'm talking in front of people. Well, makes me a little bit stressed. But I'm still in control. I still feel I can slow down. I can take a breath. I can think about stuff. If someone says something to me that's maybe offending for me at that moment, and maybe it's not that someone wants to offend me, but it could be perceived like that by me, I think I'm still in control to ask for clarification, for example. And the same at work, for example, situations. There are some situations where I know I will be a little bit more stressed, but I can prepare in advance. I can think about if someone mentions something I don't agree, how could I react on that? So it's actually what I put on there, set up for success, decide ahead of time. Because when I know I will go into a situation that will trigger something in me, I can, before I get into the situation, think about, okay, what's my exit strategy? If this is going terribly wrong, what's my exit strategy? If someone says something I don't agree on, what could I answer? And sometimes I write down, I know it sounds a little bit silly, but I write down answers I maybe have on a piece of paper and take it with me to a meeting. And then I just hope that I will use these answers. It helped me. It prevented me quite sometimes from saying things that I maybe don't mean, or it prevented some stuff. And then there are red smiley days. And red smiley days, I'm waking up, I didn't work out, I slept really badly, I'm not hydrated. I just had been in hyperfocus and I know hyperfocus isn't something scientifically, but I just worked for like 2 days straight, didn't sleep, didn't eat, didn't go to the toilet, because my body thought doing this task is much better than all the needs that your body is showing. And I'm stressed. I did the task, I'm happy about the task, but everything else in my body just screams, not okay. I know that on days like that, I will solve nothing. If I go into a meeting, a difficult meeting at a day like that, I know that I will not react properly if someone addresses something that I don't agree on. I know that. I know that I will not answer any difficult questions that day, and I really know that I'm not good for human interaction, because a day like that made me lose my job. And I know that by now. And I'm really fortunate to work for someone that I can call on days like that and just tell him, today is not going to happen. Today, I can do all the work that doesn't involve human interaction. And I work in IT, there's enough work to do. But I will not join any meetings today. I will just be at home in my safe space and will get some rest. And knowing that made my life a lot better. And there are people telling me, but you're always living in your comfort zone if you don't try to do it. But I know, I've learned, I'm 33 years old now, I've learned it makes actually no sense on these days for me getting out of my comfort zone. Because the things I'm able to do on red smiley days, they will make me really uncomfortable afterwards, and I don't want to go there. So using this really basic system and also reflecting on it. I have a journal, I actually have one journal I use, where I write down every day, this was a red, a yellow, green smiley day, and why. It helped me to be less impulsive and to set myself up for success. And something else that helped me a lot was actually mindfulness, and not 1 hour a day mindfulness, because I can't follow courses like that, but just like 5 minutes a day. Some days I skip it, being honest about it. But just like 5 minutes a day where I try to feel what I'm feeling. And I try to experience what's going on in my body, because we are all busy every day, and you're just going on, and you have all your tasks, and you just keep on going and going and going. And sometimes we don't think about where am I, which smiley am I at this moment. So mindfulness helps me, and it helps me most when I'm doing it when I'm actually the green smiley. Because these are the moments I can feel everything and I can reflect on it. And it helps me in these other situations. Something I think that's really also important to say, because the impulsivity, it sounds awful, but there is some positive thing about it. And I think it's really important to also mention that. Because of my impulsivity, on a good moment, on a happy day, it helps me to think outside the box and to start things others would never try to start. Because I don't have that fear of failure. I'm like, this sounds like a really good project, let's do it. I will just see along the way where I'm going, and I start a new project. I have all these ideas, positive ideas, and I just start new things, and I'm highly flexible in that, which can be bad for the other stuff I should be doing at that moment, because I'm so flexible, I stop doing it and do the other stuff. But I think there's really something positive about it, because impulsivity in a good way can actually help you and help you make choices that you otherwise wouldn't do. Half a year ago, I thought, I want to build a website because I don't have a website, and I think that would be nice to showcase all the dashboards I'm building. And that was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I just woke up, and then I bought a website package. That's bad about spending, but I chose a cheap one. And then the next, I think, 2 weeks, I spent all my free time building that website and doing some search engine optimization. Never heard of that before. Also bought something for that, but also cheap. The spending is still an issue, by the way. But I just digged into it and thought about all the things I want to do, and it was so interesting and new, and I wanted to have a website that shows who I am and shows what I'm doing, and I just did it. And I actually have a co-worker. He's talking to me about having a website I'm working together with him for like 1.5 years, and he started that idea 1.5 years ago. He still has no website because he's still about which is the best provider, how should I start, which content should I put on there. Then he's struggling, is it interesting? You know, I don't have these fears. I'm like, here's my content, hello world. I hope it interests you, and otherwise there are other websites. So I think it's something to mention, not just talk about the bad stuff. Can also have good sides. Something else I'm struggling with, this is the second thing next to impulsivity, is time management. And I'm really happy my helper's here showing me all the time, because otherwise I can go on for like a whole day. I suffer a little bit from time blindness, which means, not just a little bit, I always think I have all the time, and then suddenly it's the deadline. And I don't know what happened in between there. I have no clue, because somehow I just don't recognize time. Thank you. And the thing is, next to me not being able to properly time stuff, is I experience when I'm really enthusiastic about something and I really want to learn something, I know people call it hyperfocus. It's not scientific, I think. But then I really go and try to do everything at once, and I don't take breaks. I don't need breaks. My body's not signaling anything. My body's just like, go, 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 go. We do funny stuff, and we want to learn stuff, and it's interesting, and it's awesome. And then most of the time, I'm even successful. I finished quite some projects at work at 5 o'clock in the morning, and at 6 o'clock, my alarm went off, and I had to present like at 9 o'clock in the morning, just because my brain did it. And I know that sounds awesome, because instead of the 40 hours I should spend on the project, I spent like 16 on it, which sounds like saving time. But the thing is, my boss, my co-workers, they see me spending like 24 hours a week, walking around, having coffee, doing other stuff. And they're like, if you can do this in like 16 hours, and others do 40 hours about it, why don't you do 2 of these projects in 1 week? And maybe we have some little side quest tasks for you, because you have time left. And unfortunately, it's not working like that, because you can't be in a state like that 5 days a week. It's just not possible. Everyone needs sleep. Everyone needs to drink and go to the toilet now and then. So I like the hyperfocus, but I know, because it makes me feel awesome, but I know that it can be perceived really negative. It gets me into trouble. So what am I trying to do? I try to manage my time better. It's not working always. For example, this morning I was here 30 minutes early, because I set like 10 timers, and then I hope like somewhere when one of these timers goes off, I will actually move. And this morning it happened at the first alarm. So I was here 30 minutes early, but I was here, and I think that's something. I was really afraid of being late to my own session. That would be horrible. So some of the things I'm doing next to the timers is I try to build a routine. Not during my workday, because I like being flexible and doing all these tasks, but around it. Every morning looks the same for me. And every evening looks almost the same for me. I work out 5 times a week. I'm doing CrossFit. I'm doing the same class, same time, almost always same group. It's like my life outside of work is really predictable. Some say boring. The thing is, I know if I'm not having a routine, that all the negative stuff and all the emotions will pop up much stronger. Because when I'm not having a routine, I don't sleep as well, and I maybe don't get hydrated, and that's bad. It also means, can I answer your question later? It also means that I'm sometimes a little bit boring, because yesterday there was this nice party, but my routine said that I was in bed at 9 o'clock. Happens. So I'm actually also missing out. But I know missing out is better than losing your job again, or all these other things. What I'm also doing is I try to make time chunk planning. a lot of my co-workers, what I'm seeing is they plan this half-an-hour meetings, 45-minute meetings for themselves to remember stuff. For me, that's not working, because if I plan a half-an-hour meeting for myself to do stuff, I probably miss the starting time because I'm somewhere getting coffee. So I'm missing the first 5 minutes. And then I only have 25 minutes left. So the first thing I do is getting worried that I just lost 5 minutes. And then maybe I even get distracted because I hear someone else talking about something, so I get involved. At a given point of time, I only have 10 minutes left to do the task, and obviously I can't do the task in 10 minutes, so I spend the rest of the 10 minutes to rearrange the task somewhere else in my agenda. So I experience that's not working for me. So what's working for me? I block really big chunks of time in my agenda, and it's like 4 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, and I don't put the whole task in it. I don't say I need to deliver proof of concept for client A. I put all the subtasks, the steps that I have to take in there. And then I have these check boxes. Because if I make the task really small, in these small steps, in a really big time chunk, it feels for me like I can do this. And maybe I only can do 7 of the 10 steps, but at least I did 7 of the 10 steps, and I know I did something. When I'm having these half-an-hour agenda appointments and I'm not doing them, it feels like I didn't do it. I just didn't do the task. Doing it that way, I actually think I didn't achieve everything I wanted to achieve, but I achieved most of it, and I can replan the other stuff. So it actually gives me also a good feeling. Something else is I try to keep it all simple. And at the timer, I already told you something I'm doing at home, and I forgot one of my timers at home, is I have these little alarms, and I put them in a different space in the room, and next to the thing I want to do. So if I'm taking a break from work when I'm working from home, I put the timer next to my laptop in a different room, and then I do this. I have a break, I do the stuff I want to do, and then this timer goes off, and then I have to get up again and go to the timer to put it off. The thing is, if I take the timer with me, I will put it off and do nothing. So for me, that helps. Just make it annoying for myself. It helps me. And something else that really helps me if I really don't want to forget something and I really need to do it is sticky notes. And I put like a sticky note on my laptop, like I need to do this today. I need to call client A about this. The thing is, you also have to keep that simple, because otherwise your laptop or your computer is looking like this. So I try not more than 3 of these sticky notes, because also if you carry your laptop around and you have a lot of sticky notes on them, you can lose them. So max 3. Something that I think is really, really positive about having a brain that just is wired a little bit differently is my creativity. And it took me a really long time to see that, because being able to start almost everything and learn almost everything that I'm interested in, and having a mind that has so many ideas and is so creative, is actually also something positive. Yes, I have 100 thoughts at the same time, but some of these thoughts are really awesome. And I can find solutions that others maybe can't find, because they really just have this strict way of looking at things and these rules that they adhere to. I don't have that. I know that there are rules, but I know that I also have ideas, and maybe I can bend the rules a little bit to make the ideas work. I'm really innovative, and I love problem solving, also for my clients, because sometimes they have issues and they say, we already talked to 3 companies and no one could fix it. And well, let's look at it in a different way. Let's do some brainstorming. Let's just look at it from a different angle, and that's actually working for them. So I really think it's important to recognize something really awesome, and that's the creativity. Thank you. I will speed up the next slides because I lost a little bit track of time. So to tell you something I've learned is that I have to find what feels good for me. So when I was looking for a job, after I had all these jobs that I changed so often, I actually realized that I will probably not fit into 95% of the jobs that are there, because they require something from me, from my brain, that I can't provide, because I can't work a 9-to-5 job where I have these strict tasks where I need to deliver at a certain amount of time. Of course, in my current job, I also have to deliver stuff, but I have much more freedom. And knowing that, and also knowing my strengths, my creativity, the problem solving, looking at things in a different way, being innovative, I should use these things and find a job that suits that. And approaching it from that way, and also doing job interviews, being quite open about what I need and what my needs are, helped me to actually find that job. And yes, I also had horrible job interviews where someone talked to me. Yes, I think you know what you need, but I know what you need. And we just will give you this training course, and then you will do these tasks, and then you will be happy. I know that. And I left the job interview because, no, you don't know what I need. I've learned that through the years. I know what I need, and if a company can't give me what I need, we are not a match, because I'm also giving a lot to the companies I'm working for. So it should be a match. And I think it's also really important to find a workplace where they actually care for you. Don't work for a company where they're telling you that you're awful or that you're a problem, because you're not. You have strengths. Every person has certain strengths, and you should find a workplace where you can use your strengths, where your co-workers accept you the way you are. I also have co-workers where I think they struggle. I accept them the way they are and don't make them feel bad. No one should make you feel bad about being yourself. So some of the things I'm using to tame my mind is, next to the therapy and the mindfulness, it's exercise. Like I said, I'm doing CrossFit 5 times a week because it's awesome, but also because it helps me sleep. It helps me to get rid of all the energy. Sometimes I have like a lot of energy in my body, and if I wouldn't work out in the evening, I wouldn't sleep. I would just stare at the walls and nothing would happen. And reflecting helped me also a lot. I think it's really important to embrace yourself. If you're having ADHD or anything else, if you're struggling, you are okay the way you are. People told me the days that I'm enthusiast and really loving what I'm doing, that I'm too enthusiast, that I'm, thank you, that I'm too much, that I'm not professional. But I'm enthusiast. If I love what I'm doing, I'm enthusiast. I'm sharing that. I'm not too much. I just genuinely love what I'm doing. I'm sorry for you if you don't love what you're doing. I'm loving what I'm doing. I'm not an attention seeker because I address my needs. I have needs, you have needs, everyone has needs, and you should be able to address them. I am valuable, and I'm not a failure. And you are also not a failure. You are enough, and you're not alone. Even though people do as if it's not okay to struggle. It's okay to struggle, and you're enough. Thank you.